The US-China trade war has re-escalated, injecting uncertainty into the global economy. President Trump on February 10, 2025, imposed a 10% tariff on $200 billion worth of Chinese imports. This move comes after a 30-day pause on planned 25% tariffs against Canada and Mexico. The pause followed agreements on border security measures. The new tariffs are aimed at pressuring China to make concessions on trade practices. These practices include forced technology transfer and intellectual property theft. The tariffs target a range of Chinese goods including electronics, textiles, and machinery. The Trump administration argues that these tariffs are necessary to protect American jobs and believe it will help reduce the trade deficit with China. However, economists warn of potential negative consequences. The tariffs have been met with mixed reactions within the U.S. Some lawmakers and industry groups support the tariffs, believing it is an important step to address unfair trade practices by China. Others, however, criticize the tariffs, arguing that they will harm American businesses and consumers. These critics also say that the tariffs will lead to higher prices. The tariffs come amidst ongoing negotiations between the U.S. and China. The two countries have been engaged in a trade war for over 2 years, resulting in tariffs being imposed on billions of dollars worth of goods. The new tariffs are likely to further escalate tensions between the two economic giants, which will have significant implications for the global economy. China wasted no time in responding to the U.S. tariffs. Beijing announced retaliatory tariffs on $60 billion worth of American goods. This tit-for-tat response underscores the deepening trade rift between the two nations. The Chinese tariffs target a range of U.S. products, including agricultural products, automobiles, and chemicals. This strategic selection of goods aims to inflict economic pain on key U.S. sectors. China's retaliatory tariffs are designed to pressure the U.S. to reconsider its protectionist policies. The Chinese government views the U.S. tariffs as unfair and discriminatory, arguing that the tariffs violate international trade rules. The Chinese government has also taken steps to support its domestic industries, providing subsidies and tax breaks to businesses affected by the tariffs. China is also looking to diversify its trading partners, seeking to reduce its reliance on the U.S. market. The escalating trade war has raised concerns about a global economic slowdown. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has warned that the tariffs could shave off 0.5% of global GDP growth. Businesses on both sides of the Pacific are feeling the pinch. American farmers in particular have been hit hard by Chinese tariffs on soybeans and other agricultural products. The tariffs have disrupted supply chains and increased costs for businesses, leading to higher prices for consumers. The Trump administration's decision to impose tariffs is based on a particular economic rationale. The administration argues that tariffs are necessary to protect American jobs and businesses from unfair Chinese trade practices. They believe that a trade deficit with China is harmful to the U.S. economy. The tariffs, they contend, will force China to make concessions and level the playing field. This rationale rests on the belief that tariffs will encourage consumers to buy American-made products, which in turn would boost domestic production and create jobs. The administration also sees tariffs as a way to pressure China to change its behavior, wanting to force China to address issues like intellectual property theft and forced technology transfer. However, economists argue that tariffs are a blunt instrument that often leads to unintended consequences. They point out that tariffs are essentially a tax on American consumers, who end up paying higher prices for imported goods. This can lead to inflation and a decrease in consumer spending, which can harm economic growth. Moreover, tariffs can disrupt global supply chains, hurting businesses that rely on imported components, leading to job losses in those sectors, and offsetting any gains in domestic manufacturing. The tariffs have also drawn retaliation from China, further escalating the trade war and creating uncertainty in the global economy. The escalating trade war between the U.S. and China has brought global trade to a crossroads. The tariffs imposed by both countries threaten to disrupt global supply chains, increase costs for businesses, and dampen economic growth worldwide. The uncertainty created by the trade war is weighing on business investment and consumer confidence. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has warned that the tariffs could shave off 0.5% of global GDP growth in 2025. The organization has urged both countries to resolve their differences through negotiations and avoid further escalation. The trade war also threatens to undermine the rules-based trading system that has underpinned global prosperity for decades. The US and China are the world's two largest economies. Their actions have significant implications for the global economy. The tariffs imposed by both countries are already having a ripple effect, impacting businesses and consumers around the world. The trade war has also fueled geopolitical tensions, raising concerns about a new era of protectionism that could lead to a fragmentation of the global economy. The outcome of the US-China trade war remains uncertain. However, one thing is clear: the stakes are high for the global economy.